Hey, what's up, everybody? Chicago Gooner here, bringing you another Arsenal talk. Coming off uh, the great comeback at Goodison Park, looks shaky. God, you know, so much can be said about this game and how it was played, especially from Arsenal's standpoint. Um, it was a great comeback nonetheless, but you really have to be concerned about how we're playing, especially that formation and like I said in my last episode, this formation just does not work. Um, you're putting Mesut Ozil, which is one of the best attacking midfielders in the world, on the left side. It just, I wanted to pull my fucking hair out. That first half was, it was nothing to be proud of. But at the same time, the fucking referee, especially near the end of the half, giving that goal to Naismith when he was clearly offside. He was clearly offside, and he was right in line. I mean, you could see it on TV. He was right in line with Naismith, and there was no Arsenal player keeping him onside at all. And of course, the referees fucking screw us over once again. And of course, nothing will happen to the referee, obviously. The refereeing in that game was shady at best. Again, it seems like Arsenal is like a magnet for the referees to just call like a shitty game, and it seems like it's okay by the FA to continue on with this trend. That was horrible. It should have went into halftime 1-0 in favor of Everton, but it went to 2-0, and something normally that Arsene Wenger doesn't do is bring someone in on halftime, which he brought in Olivier Giroud, and he made almost like immediate impact. That beautiful ball by Oxlade-Chamberlain, but the volley was just he just tried to put too much on it. All he really needed to do was really kind of nick the ball. He didn't really need to put that much force on the ball, because he put that much force on the ball, it's just um, it can sail on you, which that's what it did. It would have been a great start to the half um, for Arsenal right off the get go. Um, to score a goal that earlier would have really put Everton back on their heels. Um, but all in all, like the last about 20 minutes, well, I would say maybe like the first like 10 minutes of the second half, Arsenal was just pressing hard. They were pressing hard. They were trying to make something happen. They created a couple chances, especially with Olivier Giroud. I think he had like three chances almost right within the first 10 minutes of the second half. And then then it kind of slowed down a little bit, and Everton kind of regained possession a little bit. Um, but after that first 10 minutes, you're just screaming for Arsene Wenger to make a change, to bring someone else in, to bring like a guy like Joel Campbell in, to shore up the wings. Leave Oxlade on. I was kind of surprised that Sanchez came off. I thought for sure that they were going to just, switch back to, once you saw Olivier Giroud standing on the touchline, to come into the game, you thought, okay, they're going to switch the formation up back to the 4-2-3-1, and you thought, they're going to switch up the formation. Ox is going to play on the left, Sanchez is going to play on the right, and then Olivier Giroud up top, and Mesut Ozil is going to play right behind Giroud, where he belongs. I mean, you don't play a player like that on the left wing. It makes me want to pull my hair out. That they're trying to do this. It just doesn't make any sense. Especially when you look at Mesut Ozil, he's not the best player defensively. He doesn't track back all that much. That's just not the type of player he is. Especially given his position and what he's asked to do, he shouldn't have to track back all that often. But you're putting him on the left wing, and you're really exposing, much like Santi Cazorla when he's playing on the left wing, you're exposing that left back. Gibbs can handle it, but Monreal has strength and power, but he just doesn't have that pace that Gibbs has to really be able to make up ground quickly and to cover for Santi's lack of defensive abilities. And it's the same with Mesut Ozil. So his formation is just I wish they would just dump it completely and just go back to the 4-2-3-1, because it's not like we don't have the players to cover for any positions. We have all the players now. Ozil's back. He played the full game, which was surprising. I thought, he'd probably play 60 minutes, 65 minutes at most, and then he'll get subbed off. Right when Campbell and Santi came on, I thought for sure that Ozil was going to be taken off, but I was really hoping that he would stay on, because he was really controlling that left side. Him and Monreal were working pretty well together on that left side, and they were really attacking that left side, which was kind of surprising, because Seamus Coleman is a pretty good right back. He's a pretty good defensive right back, and they were really attacking that left side, and they were pretty much be able to pass the ball around and create small runs through that time in that second half. But I really wish they would just change that formation up, because you need that. You need Mesut Ozil in the middle of the park. You need him to be that guy to roam around, to set things up, and to be the quarterback. You kind of saw on one of Olivier Giroud's chances. It took a deflection, but he just made a pass that it was a thin line pass, and it made it almost all the way through, and it took a little deflection, and Olivier Giroud found it at his feet and tried to take a shot on, and Tim Howard made a nice little save there. But once Campbell and Santi came on, this is what I've been talking about for like the last couple games, with this Crystal Palace game, and then the Champions League playoff game. You put Santi in that CM role, which Jack Wilshere was playing. He plays a lot better. He can control the ball. He can control his passes. He's used to being in the middle of the park. So that was kind of nice to see that Santi was, he gave the ball away a couple times. There was a couple, questionable things that he did. But again, he set up the first goal. Through that second half, Mesut Ozil, even Monreal, were just like begging for someone to make a far post run. You could see that that's what they were trying to do. Ox just wasn't doing it. Debuchy was just too far back trying to cover. Jack wasn't getting in there on that far post. But again, who gets in on that far post? Who makes that run and sells out? Aaron Ramsey. He's been doing that all last year. He's doing it this year again. Again, he's like the ninja assassin. He goes unmarked. People just don't notice him, and he makes those perfect runs. And he made that perfect run, and it was a beautiful pass by Santi on the far post. And again, it was just a little chip right into the goal, and that was our first goal. So that was beautiful to see. And the second goal was just picture perfect. I mean, that is the exact kind of cross you want. That's the exact kind of thing you want from your center forward, is to set up shop and just be strong and head that ball in. But that was a beautiful world-class cross by Monreal. He's been really working on his cross. I mean, he's better than Gibbs, in my opinion, as far as crossing goes. But you could see that he's been really working on that crossing, because he's been putting in in the Champions League game, and even against Crystal Palace, he made a couple really nice crosses, and in this game, that was just picture perfect. That's exactly how you want your cross to come in. Good pace, good curve on the ball, and Diston made a huge mistake, and he just let Giroud just kind of set up shop and be powerful and hold his position, and it was just a perfect heading ball. Giroud was due. He was definitely due with all the chances that he had the opportunity of putting in the back of the net. He was just he was really active. He was really trying to get in the box, really trying to make something happen, because that's exactly what we needed in that second half. And hopefully this is a little bit of a wake-up call for Olivier Giroud to build on this and push forward. And this is exactly what we kind of need. Coming off that Champions League first leg, you had to think the confidence was pretty low coming out of that game, and of course it showed in this Everton game in the first half. Of course, going down 2-0 at halftime, the refereeing again. I mean, that's just you can't let that happen. if it's a if it's a hairline type of call where he's barely offside, that you can understand. But I mean, he was a full body offside. That's how far he was offside, and that's a country mile in football. That if you're that far offside, it should be called every single time. And the Everton players, I mean, it makes me sick throughout the rest of the game, and even in the second half. They're like Kleenex. They just go down. You just nudge them a little bit, and they just like fall right to the ground. There's, Naismith and Seamus Coleman, and they should have been carded for simulation several times. Especially that Seamus Coleman with Monreal, where Monreal didn't even really touch him, and he went falling to the ground. Naismith a number of times. The challenge he made on Debussy, it was about like around like what it was like the 55th minute, where Debussy had claim on the ball. He was going to head the ball, and Naismith just came out of nowhere and barreled right into him. And of course, nothing was called. And Debussy got up and put his finger right in his face to tell him not to do that ever again, because that could hurt someone. That could you could hurt someone's back by doing that. He was going in with his elbow a little bit. He was going in full steam with his body, and you just can't do that. That's a foul. That's a foul every single time. How many times does Olivier Giroud kind of do that, where he's going head full steam and he tries to head the ball, and he gets a foul called on him because there's someone else has claim to the ball already. So the refereeing was shady at best. I wish, they just didn't have control in that second half at all. It was shitty in the first half, it was shitty in the second half. What else can you expect? And of course, nothing was done about it. Nothing. Arsene Wenger was complaining nonstop in the second half about all these little petty fouls that we were supposedly giving towards Everton, and they're just like Kleenex. They're soft. They just go down at every chance they got, and it hurt them at the end. We were obviously in the second half the more aggressive team. It's almost like some of our physicality really got to Everton. They were obviously playing, defensive to start the second half, but it really came back to bite them because we showed our energy. We showed what we can do in that second half. We showed how dangerous we can be. It was great to see Joel Campbell get on the pitch finally. He had a nice little cross to Giroud, and if Mesut Ozil would have just made that run, but I think at that time Mesut Ozil was just pretty much cashed at that time. I think it was around like the 80. It could have been like the equalizer. It was right after Aaron Ramsey's goal. If he just made that kind of back post run, it could have been the equalizer. But it was nice to see him on the pitch, to see his pace, to see kind of his power and what he can do. Hopefully he gets more chances. I think he's he needs that. He needs more chances because his left foot is deadly. And one thing I was screaming for going into the second half is we needed more goal scorers on the pitch. When you have Jack on the pitch, he's not a goal scorer. Mesut Ozil, he's not a goal scorer. But again, he's playing on the left side for whatever reason. The only goal scorers you really had on the pitch in the second half was Olivier Giroud and Aaron Ramsey and the Ox. You had three people. That's it. When you're down 2-0, you need to bring in people to to at least make it a game. At least try to salvage something out of the game. So I mean, the subs I think came in way too late. I don't know if Arsene Wenger's back in Brazil still on the beach, lounging around, but he's got to clean up his subs, when he makes his subs, because as I was watching on NBC, Lee Dixon, even former Arsenal great, was even screaming for, they have to make a change. They have to make a change. He was saying that for about a good 15 to 20 minutes. So I think Arsene really needs to look at that and do something about it. I mean, he has to, when you're down 2-0, you have to make changes faster. You have to get goal scorers on the pitch, because if you don't have goal scorers on the pitch, you're not going to go score goals. It's simple as that. I mean, you have a guy like Jack Wilshere, like I said, Jack Ozil. Again, Flamini's not going to make himself any type of a nuisance. He's not going to score any goals. Again, you only have three people that can possibly score goals on the pitch. You need like 4 or 5 guys on the pitch when you're down 2-0 if you want to salvage something from a game. So Arsenal really someone needs to tell him, hey, we need to make a change at some point. So, but I mean, nonetheless, it's a great point, to go up there, finally to get an actual point up north, to any one of those 4 teams, the Everton, Liverpool, Man U, and Man City. Again, last year we were embarrassed. We almost got embarrassed again this year, but we pulled together. They really showed the tenacity. They really showed the physicality that we're not going to give up. And they need to have that attitude. They need to get back that attitude. They need to get that attitude at the beginning of the game, not when we're down 2-0. Because in reality, if that offsides call was called, we win this game 2-0 and we get 3 points. So in reality, we pretty much got fucking screwed by the referee again. But again, getting a point away at a tough team like Everton, who's going to do good things this year, obviously. With all their additions of basically they have almost like the same team as they did last year without De La Fool. But again, they're a tough team to beat, and we managed to get a point out of it. That's something that we desperately need, especially going into the second leg of the Champions League game. Right now, even though we only got a point, confidence has to be high. Confidence has to be there that we're going to be able to play the way we want to come Wednesday. Because they need as much confidence as possible, because Aaron Ramsey's not going to be in that game because of the red card, unfortunately, which is still ridiculous to me. It's going to be on Wednesday, the 27th, is the second leg of the Champions League, and we need to, hopefully, again, Arsenal looks at this game and says, okay, this formation just isn't working. We need 2 actual wingers on the pitch at the same time. We need Mesut Ozil behind the striker. Of course, it's probably going to be Jack at the CM, maybe even Santi. Who knows? Again, Santi coming in, he played well as far as the second half, at least when he came in. But again, this formation just needs to change. It just does not work. We don't get as many opportunities because, like I said, when you put one of the best attacking midfielders in the world as a left winger, I mean, come on. I don't know. You can't be that naive. You can't be that stubborn to continue to do this. Because at one time, we were pushing forward. I mean, even Mertesacker was almost in the final third at times, just trying to keep possession. And his first game back, I thought he played pretty well. His lack of pace. Obviously, there was a couple times where you kind of held your breath. But again, him and Chambers played well. I thought Debussy played well. I thought everybody played well, especially in that second half. I think everybody really kicked it up the notch and they said, screw this, we're not going to be going out like this. And that's the attitude that you got to have. So it's just a great comeback, all in all, and it was great to see. But if you have any comments or anything, this is going to be a short one. But just wanted to give my opinions up on the game. And again, it's only 1 point, but it's an exciting 1 point. You really have to tip your hat to all the players, and of course all the Giroud haters out there who give him stick every single game. They're kind of crying right now because they can't say anything bad about him. But he was obviously, I would say he was probably the man of the match. I know Aaron Ramsey did what he did and he played well, but he was the reason why we did what we did in the second half. He really brought something new to the table. He brought that strength and power and the runs that he makes and the hard work that he puts out. So, but leave your comments if you have any comments or any opinions, anything that you saw during the game. Of course, I guess as the table stands right now, we are third in the table with 4 points. with 2 games played. And again, even when you get a point against an away team, especially like Everton, when we got embarrassed last year, you got to feel proud of the guys, proud of the players for getting this point and coming back. But enjoy the rest of the weekend, and hopefully we'll have some more good things to say come Wednesday and on to the Champions League group stage. And that'll be it. Later.